Great Basin is a diverse area of the western United States that includes parts of the states of California, Nevada, Oregon, Wyoming, Idaho, and Utah. The Great Basin contains the continental United States' highest mountain, Mount Whitney in California, and its lowest point, Badwater Basin, also in California. The Great Basin is an area where rivers do not drain to any ocean. Instead, the water and snow that falls in this region eventually finds its way into rivers that enter a few freshwater lakes, several salty lakes, such as the Great Salt Lake, or, more likely, are diverted for human use or evaporate before reaching a larger body of water. When most people hear the phrase Great Basin, they think of a huge, flat area that encompasses much of the western United States. I distinctly remember being taught in elementary school that a basin is a bowl-shaped landform, and the Great Basin is a huge, flat valley surrounded by mountains. This description of the Great Basin is very inaccurate. Contrary to the view of most people, the landscape of the Great Basin is not one huge valley. It is actually hundreds of basins and hundreds of small mountain ranges. Much of the Great Basin has a landscape best described as Basin and Range. This video was shot over 30 minutes and across approximately 40 miles of Utah State Road 21 while driving between Great Basin National Park in Baker, Nevada and Milford, Utah. The video is playing 8 times faster than it was recorded in order to show that a person traveling across the Great Basin will cross numerous mountain ranges that are separated by broad basins. How these basins formed is debated among geologists, but many feel that the North American plate is expanding after the Farallon plate, pushed by seafloor spreading, began slamming into the North American plate and subducting under it starting approximately 150 million years ago. The pressure of this subduction caused the North American plate to contract for approximately 130 million years. Under this theory, for the last 20 million years, the North American plate has been expanding and releasing the pressure the Farallon plate caused for 130 million years. As the pressure released, the mountains pulled away from each other, forming the broad basins. The geologic evidence for this theory can be found in areas throughout the Great Basin, where it is evident that the valleys are too large to have formed by erosion. In the video, you can see several broad basins and the summit of the mountain ranges, sitting several thousand feet above the basins. In addition to showing the landscape that is typical of the Basin and Range section of the Great Basin, this video shows students the remoteness of some areas of the western United States. Utah State Road 21, where the video was shot, has a sign just outside of Milford that reads, "Next services 83 miles." And during that time, you will not pass a gas station or a restaurant and fewer than 5 ranches, each with a single house. After driving the 83 miles from Milford, Utah to Baker, Nevada, you arrive in a town of 64 people with 1 restaurant and 1 gas station. Students often say, "I live in the middle of nowhere," but as the American author Jim Harrison stated in his 2009 novel, The English Major, I thought once again that we who hail from east of the Mississippi are rarely aware of how much emptiness there is in the West. At times it seems a little threatening. Comprehending how remote some areas of the Great Basin are can be difficult for those who have never visited. But I hope that you do not find the empty space shown in this video threatening or hard to comprehend. Instead, I hope it offers you new insight into the amazing landscape known as the Great Basin.